Alrighty, guys, welcome everybody to our free Sunday webinar. It is Sunday, October 23rd, 2016. I appreciate all of you guys being here. We're going to be doing our normal webinar like always. We're going to talk about the different economic events coming up this week on the economic calendar. We're going to be running through about 9 or 10 of the major pairs and currency indexes. And then from there, we'll open up it for questions for you guys, all right? But I wanted to just pull up this link for you guys first. A lot of you guys have been asking, do we keep track of our trade calls besides just the MAM account? And yes, we do. We actually have our track records back into June. They're located in our Dropbox, which is right here. If you type this in, it's just we use this little link condenser, so it's not some super long link. But if you guys throw this in there, make sure the P and the T is capitalized. It'll bring you to our Dropbox. In here, guys, and I'll go back to that screen in a second. In here, there's a couple free ebooks. We are going to be updating it too. Louis is actually going to be throwing like 5 or 10 more in this week for you guys. So we are going to be throwing like a couple other really fundamental, really good books that'll help you learn a little bit more about Forex and learn price action specifically. And that's what these go over, is price action. And honestly, those 3 books really helped me build my strategy to trading. So let me go back to the Dropbox. If you guys go through there, those are in there. But then what I was pulling this up for is, and we also have some indicators in there, guys, and some wallpaper, just some other goodies in there. We also have our Forex survival guide, if you guys don't know where that is. And then some nice formations too. All right, guys, these are some great formations. You can literally print this out, tape it up, right? Put it right next to your office desk, right? And you can memorize these. These are some really good formations. And then also, if you guys ever have a trouble understanding market orders, right? What it means to have a buy limit or a sell limit or a buy stop or a sell stop, right? These are, this is probably like the best way of explaining it. So you can come in here, download them to your phone or whatever. And then here we have all of our profit and loss reports, okay? So these get updated on Friday every single week. We come in here, you guys can see like last week, right? Here's the running trades that we had. We had the gold trade, we had the Euro USD, the AUD USD, USD JAPI, still at the entry price when the market closed, okay? You guys can go back and you can see each week that we've had. The past 3 weeks have been pretty good, well, actually really good. Any week we profit, right, is good. So we've had some good weeks, definitely. So you guys can go on there and check everything out. Back to the notepad, we also have our MAM account, right? If you guys go and look at our MAM account, you guys can follow our progress on our MAM. And this is the trade copier. This is the account that I manage. There's over 120 clients that are in here. If you guys have any questions, you guys can message me about it. But this is currently it. I'm really, really trying hard, guys, this week. Believe me, because it is the end of the month. There should be some solid setups coming up. There are some solid setups that we're going to be looking at. Not only that, but we're also going to be looking at the economic calendar. There aren't a ton of high impact news events, meaning like the big investors, the people that are really moving the markets. There's gonna be a lot of liquidity in the markets this week. They should be trending and flowing smoothly and running with price action quite well. But if you guys see, very key, our drawdown is very low. Our gain is slow but steady. All right, that's the key to Forex. And then right now, we do have a 100% win ratio. I haven't taken any losing trades in over a month, but that's losses are imminent, right? We've just had a very good lucky start. So you guys can see it's a real account. It's all verified. So if you guys want some more information on that, you guys can visit my website, www.positivetraders.us. It just goes over everything. But right now, our website actually is undergoing some upgrades, right? We're going to be, so at the end of today, guys, I'm going to be doing a complete Periscope once it is launched. So all of you premium members and even new members that are interested can see how the website works. But basically, it's going to have a complete back office for everybody to go into. But yeah, it's going to be way upgraded. It's not just going to be like a payment place anymore. You're going to be able to log in, see the Forex survival guide. All of our premium webinars are going to be in there embedded, and they get uploaded every week. Just lots of cool things that you guys are going to be able to discover. Really too much to talk about in just a few minutes. So let's just jump right into the analysis, guys. Looks like we have some question in here. Yeah, Gabriel, let me just type in here, guys. All right, and everybody can hear me, right? I just want to get a mic check before I start going over the pretty important stuff. You guys can all hear me well? I'm assuming everybody can hear me. Awesome, guys. Okay, perfect. All right, guys, so let's jump right into it. Let's go ahead. You guys know, first things first, we always want to go ahead and look at the economic calendar, right? So let's take a peek at that. This week, like I said, I'm going to reload this. Very, very light, right? This is good. This is good news for us. This is good news for us because I'm not a news trader, right? We have, Swiss Bank talking on Monday morning. Governor of Canada talking Monday afternoon also. These are just, these things will definitely move the market, but nothing, nothing very, very dramatic. You don't want to be, of course, opening positions around these times, but nothing super crazy, okay? We have some pretty light stuff on Tuesday, consumer confidence, governor of Great Britain is going to be speaking again, Governor Carney. Mario Draghi speaking for the ECB Tuesday morning as well, pretty light, but because that's all going to happen at one time, right? All in the morning. Nothing else really. Thursday, there is the core durable goods order and unemployment claims. I definitely would. This is going to be probably just the main key risk event that I would be looking at this week. Not, of course, not to trade, right? But just to definitely have, on my radar for sure. There's going to be some markets moving at this time on Thursday, all right? And then Friday, nothing, right? Friday's normally the big day. And then daylight savings time does go into effect, it looks like Saturday. So that being said, guys, nothing super crazy, right? Nothing as far as news events. Just keep in mind, right? You guys know my routine, right? If you guys are just following me, what I have is a little like planner, right? It's like a little calendar just for each month. And I go in at the beginning of each week and just put in the high impact news, right? Which are the red folders, and what time they're at, just so I know. And I can I just keep it open right next to my desk, right next to my computer, and I can just glance over, see if there's any news coming out. I usually highlight or just cross off once it's happened, so I know, where to look at really easily where the next one's going to be at. So it's a really easy system, just using your resources, guys. And there's different economic calendars. You don't have to use Forex Factory. I really like Forex Factory. It's easy. They explain things very well. You can open up the little folder. It gives you all sorts of clues. Basically, they even have the history of all the previous results, right? This doesn't have to do with any numbers that come out, but like something like this, you'll see all the numbers right here, and you'll be able to see all the entire history. So it's really cool. So you can kind of really analyze pieces of news articles. So it's always there for you. It's not like there's not an abundance of information. It's just up to you if you choose to use it or not. But I don't trade the news, so it's not really as necessary. Okay. So let's jump into what everybody is, of course, super interested in, guys. Let's look at the markets. Guys, I am just going to grab a glass of water really quick. Just bear with me just a second. Make sure, guys, seriously, grab your pens and papers. Like because I know, guys, I was a new trader at 1.2. I knew how it was. You have this confidence, right? I just have to say how it is, right? You think you know it all, so you don't feel like you need to get stuff. But like, guys, just use your resources. It's free. Nobody's going to freaking make fun of you, right? For writing down some stuff. Just use your resources. Nobody's too good for it, right? I still to this day have literally all sorts of notebooks because I run out of so much freaking paper because I write down so many notes and stuff. But I have all sorts of paper and my game plan for the week and the pairs that I'm looking at. I write it down with a Sharpie on different pieces of paper. I say, okay, I'm looking at this pair, this pair, this pair. These are my key levels. I have alerts open in TradingView, but a big thing is documenting stuff, guys. That's what I'm getting at. Documenting. You can't just keep it all in your noggin, right? You have to document stuff to be successful, right? You have to, like I've been preaching recently on the webinars, right? Just to keep it simple. You want to be a professional trader, you have to think like a professional trader, right? You want to be a part of that 5%, you have to act like that 5% and think like that 5%, right? And that 5% are the people that are documenting their trades, learning from their wrongs, right? Learning from their mistakes, learning from their losing trades, and not just keeping it all up in their memory. So for this aspect, guys, get a pen and paper, make sure, because we're going to be going through all these pairs, right? I'm going to go grab a drink of water. Like, you guys could literally write down each and every one of these pairs, right? And when we go to them, you can write down the key levels. And then when we're done here, go pop those key levels on your chart. You guys can have your charts looking exactly like mine, guys, right? But give me just a second, guys. You said plug my computer in. Oh, I'm at 85%. I'm good. I'll keep an eye on it. It'll warn me if it starts to die. This thing's got some good battery though. Give me a second, guys. Was it 91? Okay, I promise I'll keep my eye on it, Justin. And plus, I got you right here. So if you see it going like 15%, something crazy, I'll like plug, holler at your boy, plug it in. And give me a second, guys. Give me like 2 seconds. I just want to grab a drink of water, and then we're going to go through all these pairs. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, I think I got the annotator working this time, guys. You know how on and off it is, right? But we got the annotator going. It looks like it's working. I think I can annotate for everybody. So let's just jump right into it, guys. All right, so gold, guys. All right, let's just kind of retrace last week, right? This is last week's open right in here. All right, gold actually was pretty bullish last week. Popped out of this 23.6% level. Okay, we have the fib level from up here, from the swing high to the swing low on the long term, right? This is a long-term fib for stronger levels. You guys can see right here, 1264.64, right? Basically the 1265 level. We have this this area of consolidation, right? We have this support consolidation, resistance area. We have, so right here, right here, right here, some more resistance, some more support consolidation, right? We had those tweezer bottoms right in this area. All right, but we're still, if you guys look at it technically, and it really depends, guys. Like, it's not like my lines are like the say all be all line, right? It doesn't have to be exactly right here. Based on my analysis, remember my analysis, my own analysis, isn't anybody else's. I believe that we've broken out of this range, so we have to be very careful with gold, guys. If it breaks obviously above 1274, then we're going to be buyers, right? But if it can sustain a break below 1264 and continue heading down, then we aren't going to be looking to sell, right? Because then that's back in this range, which we've already talked about, right? We aren't interested in playing around in this range. We're only trying to either buy a breakout to the top or sell a breakout to the bottom, right? We don't want to really play around in here. It's aggressive, very aggressive in here, but I recommend if you're a new trader, just completely stay away, right? Just wait for the key levels. That's what we're looking for, key levels of support and resistance to be broken. And that's, not to get off on a side tangent, guys, but that's really how you trade price action. That's my technique, my style of trading. Of course, I have other things like Fibonacci levels, and I look at moving averages and other things like that. But a majority of my analysis comes from, I'd say well over 50% of my analysis comes from just plain old horizontal support and resistance, right? That's it. And then price action, and then trend lines, right? And then Fibonacci, and then moving averages. That's kind of like the level of importance on my scale. All right. And this is recorded, guys. You guys can rewatch that. So again, so if we wanted to either break through the 1274 and become buyers, okay, or it's going to break down below 1264 and it's going to come back and play in this range. However, again, if it comes back into this range, guys, I'm still would not be interested in selling, right? Maybe take an aggressive sell if it breaks the low right in here, right? That's a possibility, right? And you just have to look at price action in this area. That's going to be an aggressive sell, but we have this support right here, this resistance right here, this whole line it depends on what the 4-hour candle looks like. It depends on when it happens to, if it's at the end of a daily candle close. There's a lot of variables to determining like if you're going to take a trade. So we also want to look at price action around that time, guys. We have a question in here. Jonk, you said when price moves close to the SMAs, can it change direction of the trend? Well, that's essentially what SMAs are, guys. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. They stand for simple moving average, or just moving averages in general. There's different types. I use the simple, so just SMA for short. I don't base my trades off of the SMAs, guys. I really, I could completely keep my same strategy and trade without the SMAs, because I don't base a trade off of them. They're just neat levels to, let's say I'm in like a trade, right? Let me just give you guys an example. Let's just say gold broke out through here, right? And you're trying to determine support and resistance levels, right? You have your fib levels out, but other than that, between really like here and here, without the fib levels, there's nothing really to determine like, where could price possibly pause at? Where might it have trouble breaking through? So the SMAs, when I see this, I'm like, okay, cool. Now I know that this level, the 1300 level, also that is confluence with, now that's adding things too, which is awesome, guys. Like this is confluence now. We're adding in a psychological level, a very round, solid number. So this helps me be like, so if we were to buy this on a breakout, right? Okay, cool. So our first target is going to be, like the 38%. If it breaks that, then the 50%, right? And then if it breaks that, then, before the 61.8, we're going to be looking at the 200, the 200 SMA. And this is the 200, guys. This is the 100. So that's how I use SMAs, guys. You see how I'm not basing a trade off of it? However, in a sense, you can, right? I might be basing the close of a trade off of it, but I don't base the entry of a trade off of it. So, and it really depends also what price does in this area, right? Because I really look at the 4-hour and the daily candles. So if price is just really breaking through and the buyers are really seeming like they have control, then I'm going to keep the trade open. It just is a key level, guys. So gold, that's really enough said. We'll come back around to it at the end if you guys need some more clarification on it. But long term, guys, also, so long term, let me just throw it on the daily, right? If you guys, and this is what I'll do, I'll open all the charts on the daily first and just show you guys long term, right? This is like the long term short if we were to break through this bottom down here. And this is the long term buy if we're to break through the top up here, right? And you guys can see, I probably should just publish this idea in TradingView. I probably will, so you guys can just see it play out, because I don't move these lines, right? These lines have been here the same, right? I might move actually I've kept the fib here for a long time also. Really the gold charters look the same. We've just been looking at, and that's really how it should be, guys. Your charts really shouldn't, your lines shouldn't constantly be moving. You don't want to be having all these lines based on the 1 hour or the 30-minute or anything. Really, guys, to be successful long-term, in my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, right? I think that you need to work with higher time frames and deal with the larger picture of everything, which is going to happen on, the weekly, the daily, and the 4-hour. But we've been sellers ever since this area, guys. We were actually expecting a break lower last week, but we didn't see that. It reversed and broke through, but we didn't even trade it. So it's not like it failed on us. And in the trade we did take, we ended up making some pips on it. So very solid last week, being very careful. Guys, huge trade last week. I'm super happy about this, right? We made a ton of money. I think everybody in the premium group made probably the most money on this pair. We sold around the 99.20 area, an aggressive sell around 99.20. Yielded a ton of pips, ton of money. Let's see. Right. So pretty simple, guys. You guys see, like, my strategy is pretty simple. It's like a relaxed intensity. I don't know any other way to say it, because that's how you have to treat Forex. It's very serious, very professional, but at the end of the day, you have to keep it simple. You can't overcomplicate things, and you have to understand that you're going to spend more time out of a trade than you are in a trade, right? It's a game of patience and just waiting for the setups to come to you. So again, with this is just like Euro USD. Remember beginning of the week last week, right? We stayed away from it because it hadn't broken it yet, right? It hadn't broken this level. I told you guys when it broke support, we're going to be selling, right? Once it finally broke this level, look at it, right? We sold it 109.20 because that's right here at the bottom, at the break, right? At the close. You wait for the candle close. That's the confirmation, right? So this daily candle actually closed, right? Because there's no reason. Let me get the the drawing pad out. There's no reason this candle couldn't have closed back up, right, and formed like a really big exhaustion candle, right, and then price could have gone back up, right? But because and price action will win not every time, guys, but more than half of the time, price action is going to be correct. We see this level get broken, and it's just a continued downtrend. And look at the proof on that, guys. Look at this. This is proof of it. Look at the candle. Look at the top of this next candle that we traded, right? There's no top wick. That means like sellers were in full, complete control. That means all the other institutional traders saw the same thing, right? They saw this key level of support break, and so everybody started selling the euro, right? And there's fundamentals. There's other arguments that can be made of why it's sold, but that's a big majority, right? Technical trading is a big thing. All right. So, guys, and this is what I mean. If you held it, like, cool. Like, I think it still has potential to the downside, right? I think it could still make another exhaustion candle before it comes up. It could go up, right? We don't know. It's still the beginning of the week, right? If you closed, cool, right? If you set your stop loss to break even, cool. Either way, we're making money. Still, we're going with this. We're looking at the setup. I still believe long term we could still see further dropping, right? If I had to guess, right? But I don't like to guess, right? But because I'm not going to take a trade based on it, but I would be biased to the downside still. All right, USD chafe. Again, just like Euro USD, right? They do the opposite. We're in a key area where it's either going to start to drop and retrace last week's moves, or it's going to start to push up, right? So we can just kind of come back here, keep it simple, right? We have our highs now plotted right there. We know if we see a 4-hour or a daily close above this level, the buyers are gonna come back and we can get some pips out of that, right? But if we start to come down and break through some serious levels like the 99.09, then we could be selling. Now we could see something like this happen, guys, right? It could come back down because this was on Friday. Remember, this is on Friday. So it could come back down, retest this area, right, from former resistance, right, that we broke through right here. We could test this area and then start heading back up, right? Retrace some of last week's moves. Just like Euro USD, right? If the Euro USD was going to do the opposite, right? It could, if we were going to draw it on here, right? It could come back up and then fall back down, right? Retrace some of Friday's moves. So don't get impatient just because it looks super. And this is where the market makers come in, right? This is why they call them the market makers, right? Because people get eager, right? They come out of the gates like it's a race, right? And it's not a race, guys. When the markets are open, like I don't even trade Sundays, guys. Like very rarely have you guys ever seen me call a trade on Sundays because it's just not. It's just a trick day, right? It's just a day when the markets just don't have a lot of liquidity. Other smart traders are staying out of the markets too, so that enhances the lack of liquidity and therefore markets are really choppy. So not good days to trade. So USD chafe, just went over that, right? Pound dollar. Geez, guys, this has really been a nightmare, right? Not a nightmare for us, right? We haven't been taking any trades on this, just a nightmare for the pound in general. It's not a good day for the pound. I don't know if you guys read Bloomberg, read Reuters, right? If you don't, set your homepage to it, read it, guys. It's great. Like, it'll give you great stuff. Or if you follow Bloomberg or Reuters on Twitter, they post like great key events, key articles. But a lot of the major banks in Great Britain are looking to leave, basically close up shop, before even, there's talks of before even the end of 2016. So, investors there's a lot of things that are going to be, the pound right here. It's not looking very good for the pound. I would have to be biased to the downside still. I think it could still keep going, maybe long term towards the end of this year into like the 115s, 116s, really low. All right. But again, stay away, guys. Basically for us, we're staying away. It's simple. It's just like gold, right? Just like gold. We want to stay away. It's in a range. It's either going to break out or it's going to break out one way. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down, but I would stay out of it, Same thing. I'm pretty sure pound Jappy's looking the same way. Same thing, guys. Pound Jappy, right? I don't have all the lines drawn out exactly, right? It's been a little bit. And you guys can see these lines are so old. I haven't traded pound Jappy in a while because it's just not a smart pair to be trading, right? It's just too volatile right now. But we're stuck in the range also, same range. Same thing going on. You guys can see it, right? You want to stay away from these pairs, right? You want to wait for the breakout, like the close definitely above or below. AUD USD, let's move right along. AUD USD, guys, I would still be biased to the downside, right? We cut a short on this last week, right? We shorted right around this area, I believe. Or I'm sorry, we actually shorted down here, 76.20, right? It came up. It did come close to hitting our stop loss, not quite. We had our stop loss at 76.55, I do believe. That's up here. So we did get, we got out of that one. It came down, dropped nicely into profit. But made some nice profits, guys. I still think that there could be some further possible moves to the downside with this pair. But remember, it does kind of move like gold, right? In a sense, there's a lot of gold mines in Australia and New Zealand. So that's why gold the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar are affected by the inflation of gold. NZD USD, let's look at it. We haven't been trading NZD USD in a little bit, guys, because of this, right? I don't like this. When it broke out here, came back in, now it's back in the range. We have a lot going on with this pair. It's still, I mean, we're bearish on this pair, right? Bearish on this pair. But if we were to fib, now, nice thing about this pair is you can fib this very nicely, right? Oops, that's not what we wanted. Take this guy. Fib retracement. Here we go. We can fib this out. You guys can see my favorite level, the 50% level, got respected last week. Pretty simple, guys, right? You just keep your analysis simple, right? You have your support right here, and we're biased to the downside because the trend is down, right? So if it breaks this 50% level, breaks the support level at 71.45, will be sellers. And I would only scalp this pair, guys. I wouldn't be, it's not doing a whole lot, right? I mean, it's in a long-term downtrend, so we could still see further downsides. But again, it relates to gold. When I look at NZD USD, right, I keep gold in the back of my mind, right? And if gold has broken its top of the range, and it might be spiking up, right, that's going to have some influence on which way NZD USD moves. So that's why with these two pairs, you kind of can hear a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of apprehensiveness. That's why. So I would kind of stay away from those. We're getting into this setup is nice, guys. I know this looks all crazy. Let me. It's because we've been going hard on this pair, guys. This pair has been doing a lot for us. So I have a lot of key levels in here, but I can delete some things. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. All right, and we're going to keep the rest of that. And I will delete that. Let's see here. Not even sure how these lines got in here. All right, guys. Yeah, it should be just simple like that. All right. So we have the top up here, top right here, right on. We have the resistance in this area. We talked about this last week, guys. I'm not going to go super in depth on this pair because we talked about it a lot last week on the different webinars, but I'll just draw it out very quickly. Right. We were in this channel, right? We broke out of this channel. The SMAs too, right? The SMAs came into play, right? We broke through the SMAs through some consolidation, and now we came up through them, came down to test the 200 SMA. Also previous support, made a bottom in this area, and key candle last week, guys, was right here. This blue candle. We had an engulfing bullish candle. Also coming back up to test resistance again. We had a doji form on Friday, and this is today's candle. I'm definitely biased to the upside, guys. I'm seriously really biased to the upside on this pair. On the weekly, and I apologize, guys. I'll delete the fib level so it doesn't look all crazy for you. There we go. Hopefully that looks a little bit better. And I'll even delete this arrow, right? So we have some, now it looks hopefully a little bit clear, right? So long term, right? Long term, just to like draw it out real quick, right? We had this really, really long-term trend that we played, and we made some nice money on these drops in June and July, both on this pair and USD GBP Jappy all the way through here. Eventually, we kind of broke it down into this little downtrend right here, broke out, nice breakout, right? Went up to, made a double top actually right here. Nice fake out, right? Nice fake out, and dropped, bullet, bearish engulfing candle, right? I'm sure there were a ton of sellers at the end of that week that probably got their accounts blown. And then price started to move up. So this is really, it's really, guys, honestly, I'll just say it the easiest way. I'm just trying to find the best way to put it. The easiest way to put it is that price has still yet to come down over this long period of time. And it's forming, so because of that, guys, we have a period of consolidation, and this price action signifies a bullish flag, right? That's the whole thing that I'm getting at is the price action. If you go and look at, right, I pull this out every single webinar, and we look at the price action, boom, oops, pennants, this one, right here. We have one of these happening right here, guys. A bullish pennant happening. Okay. Boom. Uptrend continues. That is long-term what we have forming on USD Jappy. Okay. It's the fact that price has failed to break the 102.96. Let's just call it the 103, right? Let's just call it the 103. Price has failed to come down and break back through the 103, and the sellers to come back up after such a heavy downtrend where the sellers were in such control for such a long time. That signifies that the bulls are just preparing something big. So, I think 105 and 106 could just be the first area. I think we're definitely going to see some big resistance around this level, the 106.85, but potentially, guys, we could see some big moves. And I know that would look like the dollar gaining strength, right? When in reality, the dollar is gaining strength, but also the thing that's going to propel that is, I think, just a weak Asian economy. But again, the fundamentals don't play into effect as much as the technicals do, guys. Technicals long term. Also weekly. Look at weekly, guys. Right? Let's show you just like long term. Right? We had like this area of support, this zone, right? This whole zone, this area of support. So this is like one big long area of support back here. Where on the weekly, it's struggling to break down lower. So this is just like a very like long-term outlook, and also short-term, right? We're in a trade on this pair. So let's move on to USD CAD, guys. It's already making some moves this week, right? Opened up at 103.80 and went up actually about 20 pips already, 19 pips. All right, USD CAD. USD CAD. Honestly, guys, USD CAD and oil I would stay away from. This, you guys know, right? Friday, we look at Friday's news. Let's look at Friday, right? Boom. Friday, right? Some really, really bad. This is no surprise, though, guys. And this is a classic example of why I don't like to trade the news specifically or take a trade based off of the news, right? I always say it's okay if you're in a trade, if you're like you're up in a trade, 20, 30, 40 pips on a trade and the news is going to come out, as long as your trade is set to break even, that's okay. But taking trades just based off of the forecast is a horrible idea. And this is a great example why, right? Because people over leverage, they feel like it's going to be really good because the forecast is really good. And then they end up and then they probably follow some group or some trader that bases all their trades off of the news. They say to buy CAD, right? Which would mean to sell USD CAD, right? So they probably tell them to buy CAD on Friday, and then this happens, right? And if you know the Canadian economy, right, it always has like high forecasts in disappointing news, right? So if you've been trading and you have experience, right, first off, not even to get in the news trade. So that's That's where we'll kind of just like end of conversation right there. So that's why USD CAD went up, right? Like just perfect right there, right? Went up 100 pips. So that's enough to blow accounts, right? And then everybody I see on Facebook right now, everybody's saying to sell USD CAD, right? Guys, don't sell USD CAD. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb, right? We have this giant bull flag forming, right? Wait for confirmation, right? There's no confirmation in this area. Look at this. We're zooming up, right? And it could fall, right? Not to say that it couldn't drop, right? But based off of price action and the dollar's strength, let's look at the dollar index too. Dollar index, right? We've been long on the dollar index. Our bias has been long on the dollar index since before it broke out of this. Right, we've had this line here. If you guys have been following me for a while, this arrow was here before this breakout. Right, the dollar is just continuing to gain strength. And why did I believe it was going to keep going higher, guys? What was my belief behind it? Because when you look at it on the daily, right? Let me just put this line. This is the key line right here. When you look at it on the daily, this red line is the next level of resistance. There's nothing between here and here, right? There's no candles in this area between here and here. There's no spikes, right? There's no candle that came up and spiked up. There's no spike up in here, right? There's nothing, right? So there's nothing. So we know for between here and here, right, guys? Just to get nitty gritty. Right? If it can break up above this level, we know that between here and here is a safe buy because there's nothing for resistance dragging all the way back until this level. Right, guys? So it's just, again, not to bore you guys to death, but it's just about identifying the key levels of support and resistance and trading them, waiting for confirmation. Basing your trade on confirmation. Did the dollar index just spike up? Yeah, it did. So dollar index is doing its thing. Dollar is still continuing to strengthen. But again, guys, it's Sunday. Doesn't mean it's going to, right? Still has, again, right? Keeping it simple. Plot the resistance, right? Plot the resistance. It doesn't matter where you plot resistance as long as it makes sense, right? Right there. However, aggressive, conservative, however you want to do it, right? Wait for the candle to close above it, buy, keep it simple, make some pips, right? All right, guys. US oil. Guys, I really have to say long term, I think we're still going to see oil go up. And I know that sounds crazy because I said stay away from USD CAD, but correlation is only a certain percentage, right? Right? If USD CAD goes up, right, oil should be going down. False, right? Look at this, right? Here's a prime example, right? I mean, okay, and I don't want to say false because I've said that before. And I always say things, guys, when I say correlations, always keep in mind, take those with a grain of salt that is a generality. It is not 100% of the time because just a good example is look at, today right now, look at Friday and look at Thursday, right? These are the three candles. If USD CAD spiked up this much, oil did not spike down that much, right? It stayed still in this area. So it is possible that USD CAD still could keep going up and US oil could go up, right? That's divergence right there, but it could happen. Okay, anything can happen. All right, that just means that the dollar's strength, the dollar getting stronger, is stronger than basically the demand for oil, the demand for the Canadian dollar. All right, but I think we could see a breakout eventually. You guys know, right? I've been gearing more towards like long-term, more conservative, better trades. Essentially, better trades, higher win rate, right? And longer time trades that you can base off of, or that you can compound. USD Jappy, guys. I'm sorry, Euro Jappy. I just started looking at this, guys. Cal trades this pair a lot, and he's been kind of showing me some trades and giving me some good pointers on this pair. So I've kind of taken it under my wing in a sense and been looking at it. I'm not ready quite yet to give out a bunch of signals on this pair yet. I'm still just like learning the price action and stuff like that, but it's pretty nice, guys. You can see, like, look at things like this. Like, look at this pair. I know it's in hindsight, guys. I know, but just bear with me. Like, look at that, a nice little test up here. And it moves really similar to USD Jappy, guys, right? It tests up in this area. It's kind of makes theirs. And that's why I took it under my wing is it moves really similar to USD JAPI, and especially right now with a weak euro. That's also been a reason why I've been looking at this, right? And you have to adapt to change, right? It's not bad to do anything like that by any means. So Marshall says EJ is sweet. So yeah, I'm definitely taking a look at it for sure. But guys, I'm very excited. Just a quick announcement before I start taking some questions. I am very excited to announce that starting tomorrow, guys, because it's gonna, and I'm gonna let you guys know the schedule, but it's not gonna be ever on Sundays or Fridays. I don't think it's just gonna be Monday through Thursday. You guys can expect at between 5 to 5:30 Eastern time every single day in the premium Slack group. There is going to be an update for swing trades. I'm going to start posting swing trades each day in there. And, it's eventually going to get to the point where we're in a couple at the same time, right? And rather than having to call them each day, it's more of just like an update on the analysis. But, guys, these are going to help us learn patience and really grow our skills with compounding trades because these are trades that are, honestly, guys, we are going to hold these trades for weeks and weeks, right? 1 to 2 weeks, if not more, right? But minimum at least a whole week, right? But these are going to be very good, well-managed risk trades. But I don't know any other way to explain it because I've just been given so much information on it. I wrote a bunch of posts on it, so I don't want to, over talk about it. But I'm just really excited that because I know a lot of you guys work and have a schedule and have different things going on, so it can be difficult sometimes, right? Where let's say I give you a signal out in the morning, right? And then I tell you to set the stop loss to break even, but you're at work, right? And you can't use your phone at work. So it's difficult for you to kind of like follow everything. So the profits that we're gaining might not be the same profits that you're getting. So hopefully with this, it'll help everybody kind of get like the same profits together. And then the people that are lucky enough or have the time dedicated or devoted to being able to catch, the normal 5 to 10 daily trades, throughout the week, then it's going to be everything. So it's not, we aren't removing anything, just adding things, guys, just adding more value for your guys' subscription. Okay. Shamoy asks, are you using market maker strategy? No, I do not use the market maker strategy. Also, what messaging app do you use for the paid signals? Yeah, we use Slack. It's really nice. It's really user friendly, really advanced. It's really high up on the business ratings for team communication. It's like, I don't know, well, like all the teams in like New York City use for different companies and stuff. Yeah, it's very nice. Viv says, would you recommend having a separate broker account for the swing trades? That's a good question. It's really up to you. It's really how you manage your money. It's really up to you. Honestly, I don't know any other way to put it. It's up to you if you want to see 2 accounts, one with your daily trades and the daily calls that we have, and just see your profits and losses from that. Or if you want to have one dedicated to swing trade to see your dedicated profits and losses from that, to see kind of a summary of each one. But you will see the trade open a lot. So, I might do it on the same one. I don't really know. It's up to you. It's up to you guys. I'm sorry. I don't know the best way to answer that. Justin, grateful for the swing trades. No problem, brother. Gabriel, is that all you use? What about awesome oscillator and indicators and other tools? I don't know what if awesome oscillator is like a single thing. I don't know what that is. Indicators or other tools. So I really believe, let me see. Sorry, I just closed the chat. I think your name was Gabriel. Gabriel, hey. So Gabriel, I don't really believe in trading based off of lagging indicators such as stochastics and RSI and different oscillators and stuff. And I don't want to sound like a hypocrite. I definitely use moving averages, but if you've been listening to this whole webinar, you would have heard me explain how I use moving averages, and they aren't fundamental to my trading strategy. They're just there in the background, and I could trade without them, honestly. But price action is key, man. It's really what the best way to learn long run. And the reason why, I don't just like say that to say that. The reason why is I think that price action works the best in all market conditions, right? The markets are ever changing. If the housing market crashes, right, which is I think it probably could in the next couple months or next couple of years, right? That's going to change the economy completely, right? When the next president gets elected for the U.S., right, that's going to change the U.S. dollar economy completely, right? Things change and progress over time. If there's one thing that doesn't change, it's that things change. All right. So that being said, you have to have a strategy that can adapt and and change to no matter what the markets are doing, right? And some strategies, I believe that price action is one of the best strategies that you can adapt and change based on what's happening in the market. Jeremy, you're asking, when do we have to transfer to Stripe, or is it stripe.com? No. Okay, guys, let me explain to you guys just real quick. I'm gonna dedicate a whole Periscope to this, but Stripe is just gonna be our new payment processor once the new website is up. They you don't have to set up an account or anything with them. It's just like a normal payment processor. Like, we had to go and purchase SSL security for the website, and Stripe is based out of San Francisco, California, and they're very well known, very highly rated. Very well known, right? They're right up there with PayPal. But rather than the one issue we're having with PayPal is that they aren't Forex friendly, because depending on where you live, you have to create an account depending on where you are, and some people, don't want to make a PayPal account. So just the fact that everybody can just use a card, and it doesn't have to be attached to an account or anything. It's just much more universal, so much more practical in the long run for everybody. But that's going to be happening as soon as you guys see the new website up. That the Stripe will be in effect. So as far as current members, the 180 of you guys that are currently on PayPal, what you guys will need to do, as I've been mentioning in the past, is you will need to cancel your automatic payments that are set up in PayPal currently. And then you'll have two options once the new website is up. If you want to access the premium member features right away, we can get you set up with the premium features without having to, we can give you premium access without having to pay, and then just set up your payment date automatically to come out with Stripe. You'll just have to go in and set it up, which we're going to go over everything, guys. I know it can sound a little overwhelming, but it's a very simple switch. It's going to take, it'll take you like 5 minutes on a computer. So, Brian, is it going to be auto pay? Of course, man. It's going to be on auto pay. Of course. That's the most practical way as a business owner, right? If I had to remind every single person every single month, that would really be chaos. Greg, you said, which time frame is the best to fib, daily or 4 hour? Well, if you think about it, that's kind of a trick question, Greg, because the 4 hour and the daily, right? Look at this right here. Let me give you an example. If we were let's look at a pair that we might actually fib out, right? So if we were going to fib out this move right here, right, this past move to see key levels. This is the daily, right? And then let's just put it on the 4 hour. Boom, right? See, that is at the top though, right? See, this is the same. It's the same. It's, the dots are a little bit different, but it's the same levels. So I think if you fib on either of them, it works well. And then let's see, we had some other questions. Shamoy asked, how do you type symbols like you do in Slack? Okay, guys, that's a random question, but I'll tell you guys, a lot of people have actually asked me that. Okay, so if you guys, I'm going to type the symbol for you guys that you do in Slack. So you have to do a colon, and that's Euro USD. That's USD chafe, right? And that's USD Jappy. So you put the first letter of the first symbol, and then the first letter of the second symbol with a colon on either side. And then that's how you do the little stacked little thing that everybody was wondering about. All right, guys, so I'm going to open up the floor. If anybody has any questions, I will take, let me see, what time is it? All right, it's about to be an hour. Okay, guys, we'll open up the floor for some questions for a few minutes. If you guys have any questions, you need some clarification on something that I might have said, a pair that you were confused about, definitely feel free. I want to make sure you guys are all on the same page, right? I want us all to be profiting together, everybody be making money together. So I don't want it just be me, the one that's understanding this that we're going over. So if there's something you guys had a question on, let's go back to it. Let's go talk about it real quick. No question is a dumb question. I'm sure everybody or other people on here would have the same question you do. Let's see. Yep, it's Sunday, guys. So you know how that goes. We're going to sit on the sidelines while we wait to let the setups form. But this is great, guys. It looks like, so there's still like 40 of you guys in here and nobody has any questions. So I will assume that most of you guys got pretty good information from this. Also, the replay will be up very shortly. I'm going to throw it on YouTube right away for you guys. But if you guys don't have any questions, just last updates. Again, website will be done ASAP. It's going to be done today, guys. It's up today. It's like currently just down. Our web developer is just waiting to put everything together. Jonk is asking, Stripe will have auto pay feature. Jonk, so auto pay. So guys, with Stripe, it's just automatically set up on a recurring subscription that you guys can cancel at any time. So when you set it up, you're going to be automatically set up on auto pay, just how PayPal was, right? It's no different than PayPal, right? And then you can just cancel it anytime, just how PayPal is. It's very transparent. There's nothing. It's the same thing, guys. It's the exact same thing. It's just a different company, but they're just as reputable. Jimmy, you said still holding USD Jappy. Yep. Yeah, USD Jappy is still, that's long term, definitely. Yeah, USD Jappy is looking solid. But when you type in, you don't see it as the symbols. You only get an emoji. Yeah, that's the way it should be, Chamoy. It should be like you said when you type in the symbols, that's how it should be. It should be just like the same size as an emoji. That's the way it normally comes out. But if you do it, I think, yeah, but it gets stacked. Yeah, it's stacked. Yeah, so that's that. So that's it, guys. We're gonna finish up premium webinar, guys. I am dedicated to getting it out at Wednesday. I am also dedicated to getting on Periscope every single night, even if we aren't taking trades or even if we aren't in a trade. I want to get on Periscope every single day this week. Webinar is going to be on Wednesday. We're just gonna have back to the high energy. Of course, I mean we don't stop our energy, but it's gonna be nice that the website is done. Very exciting because I'd say that a solid 30 to 40% of my time recently has been spent, cross-referencing payments, double checking things, basically doing everything manually and making sure we're doing it right. So, having everything automated with the new website is very exciting for the whole team. And we're really excited to just bring some more like knowledge and bring some more creativity and bring just a lot more like one-on-one time with you guys. So helping you guys. I'm also hoping now that the website is out so a new thing, guys, just a little sneak peek. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but Louis is going to be starting a blog on the website too with the new website. It's not implemented yet, but that's the next thing to come once the new website is actually up and running. We are going to have a blog in there that Louis is going to be updating daily with different news, and everybody's going to be able to kind of check it out and basically put their inputs. And it's going to be for everybody, free premium members, everything. It's not going to be actual signals, just like a learning resource for everybody, a good resource everybody can use. So that's going to be coming with the end of the website. But I'm very excited, guys. I'm super happy. Every one of you guys are super awesome. And the ma'am, guys, I'm so excited. The ma'am, guys. I know the ma'am. I mean, it's not like guys, remember, any week we don't lose on the ma'am is a good week, right? So last week, even though we didn't increase it super crazy, we still made 0.5% on it. We've made 2.75% this month, right? I'd like to make at least 5% this week, bring us to the 7 to 10% for the month and close out a really good month on the ma'am and hit it again hard in November, guys. That's the goal. But I really appreciate all you guys. I can't wait. And this will be up on YouTube very shortly. But I appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your week and have an awesome day.